One is trying to reveal the secret of Dendro Archon, while the other tries to reveal the secret of Amphoreus. What a coincidence, Hoyo. Welcome to Star Rail Universe, Al Hytham. I never thought that I would ever see you again in this universe. Oh, sorry. Your name in this universe is Anaxa, one of the 7 sages of the Grove of Epiphany and a founder of the Newspirists. Before continuing with the guide, I would like to say thanks for all of you that my channel finally reached its first 100 subscribers. I realize that 99% of the viewers still haven't subscribed to the channel, but that's okay. I hope my future contents can convince you to support this channel by becoming one of my subscribers. Oh, I also thought about holding a giveaway when I reach 1,000 subscribers. What do you think? Let me know in the comments section. Let's now discuss all things you need to know about Anaxa. Anaxa, or should I call him Silver Bulk Pro Max Kits, is really straightforward like his personality. Anaxa has a talent that implant one random weakness each time he lands one hit on enemy targets, prioritizing weakness type that doesn't already possessed by the target. If the target has at least 5 different types of weaknesses, the enemy will be inflicted with qualitative disclosure state. Enemies in this state will trigger one additional instance of skill if being hit by either Anaxa's basic attack or skill. The additional skill won't consume any skill points and will be cast on one random enemy if the target has been defeated before the additional skill is used. His skill is a 5 times bounce type skill, prioritizing bouncing to enemy targets that have not been hit by this instance of skill. For each attackable enemy on the field will increase this skill damage dealt by 20%. His ultimate will immediately inflict 7 Wonders of the World to all enemies and makes them unable to take action if they don't have control resistance. Like us who often afraid with Killer Teacher, Anaxa technique will make the enemies terrified of him. The enemies will try to flee from him for 10 seconds. Attacking this terrified enemies will always be considered as attacking their weakness and will applies one weakness of the attacker's type to every enemy's. His A1, Roaming Signifier, makes him gains additional 10 energy when using basic attack and will immediately regenerates 30 energy if there are no enemy in the qualitative disclosure state at the start of the turn. And 2, Imperative Hiatus, will gives him buff based on the number of erudition characters in the team. If there is 1 character, it will increases Anaxa's crit damage by 140%. If there are at least 2, it will increase the damage dealt by all allies by 50%. His last traces, Qualitative Shift, will make Anaxa ignores for % of enemy defense for each weakness type the enemy has, for a maximum of 28% defense ignore. His other traces will give him 22.4% wind damage boost, 12% crit rate, and 10% HP. Anaxa damage output really depends on his skill, so you need to max his skill first, followed by his talent and ultimate. Most of the time, you won't be using his basic attack, but if you have spare material, you can upgrade his basic attack if you want to. You should prioritize his A3 and A2, since both of them are strong traces that need to be unlocked first. After that, you can unlock his A1 for an extra energy regeneration for his basic attack. Scholar Lost in Erudition will be the best relic for him since it gives free 8% crit rate and buffs his skill and ultimate damage by 20% and furthermore buff the next skill he used by another 25% after using his ultimate. Pioneer Diver of Dead Waters is a good choice for him too since he can consistently gives debuff to the enemy using his talent. Since he can implant all weaknesses, including Quantum Weakness, he also able to use Genius of Brilliant Stars for a massive 20% defense ignore. So a total of 48% defense ignore by combining his A3 trace and this relic set. If you want to make Speedy Anaxa to spam his skill, you can use Eagle of Twilight line or 2 pieces Sacerdos and 2 pieces Hacker Space. Rutilant Arena is the best general planar sets for him. directly gives him 8% crit rate and boosts his basic attack and skill damage by 20% if he has at least 70% crit rate. If you're aiming for 160 Speedy Anaxa, you can use Glameth for Speedy Anaxa. Pairing Anaxa with another erudition character will make him able to use Izuma Planar set for a free 12% crit rate and 12% attack increase. The last planar set that suit him well is Sigonia. But make sure your team can defeat at least 10 enemies to maximize the crit damage buff from this set. His best 5-star will be his own signature, giving a free 10 energy when his turn starts, increasing his damage by 60% and reducing the enemy defense by 12%. You can also use the Herta signature light cone, since he benefits from all these light cone effects. You can also use F2P Herta shop light cone, Eternal Calculus, and Heimko's signature light cone if he's facing at least 5 enemies. Anaxa is another F2P friendly character. He can literally use almost all accessible for star and 3-star light cone except for Mini Herta for star light cone. His best for Star Light Cone will be the latest event Light Cone, which will increase his damage by a maximum of 56% and gives another 16% attack for him. Anaxa can be used either as Hyper Carry, Dual Carry, or even Super Break. Super Break Anaxa seems a bit copium and need further testing though. For dual carry Anaxa, the best other DPS character you can pair with him will be the Herta, Jade, Himiko, Acheron, and even break DPS like Firefly, Rappa, Boothill, and Lingsha for a faster break. Hyper carry Anaxa consists of 2 buffer and a sustain. He synergizes with all the Harmony characters, but his favorites will be Sunday, Tribby, and Robin. You can place Pella, Silver Wolf, and Black Swan to further decrease enemy defense. Super Break Anaxa will be using the usual team, consist of Feud, Ruin May, Harmony MC plus Lingsha or Gallagher. You can use Luca too to trigger the bleed from enemy physical weakness break. His first Eidolon will refund 1 skill points after he uses the skill for the first time. This Eidolon also decreases the enemy defense by 16% after being hit by his skill. His weakness implant is rather different from Silverwolf. Silverwolf's weakness implant will also decrease the enemy resistance to that corresponding implanted weakness by 20%. Anaxa's doesn't have this resistance reduction in his weakness implant. Unlocking his second Eidolon will give him Silverwolf resistance reduction, making him becomes the actual Silverwolf Pro Max. Oh, I forget to mention that his second Eidolon will make him trigger 1 instance of weakness implant effect to new enemy that enter the battlefield. Third Eidolon will increase his ultimate level by 2 and basic attack by 1. Fourth Eidolon will increase his attack by a maximum of 60% whenever he uses his skill. Fifth Eidolon will increase his skill and talent level by 2. His last Eidolon will be the most powerful Eidolon he has among the other, increasing all of his damage by 130% of the original damage and make him no longer depend on the number of erudition characters in the team to gain both buffs from the Trace Imperative hiatus. In my honest opinion, I don't think it's worth to chase for either his Eidolon or his signature light cone. His Eidolon one is not that strong to begin with. Spending that much money for one-time skill points refund and 16% defense shred is not worth the penny. It was stated before that he is F2P friendly character, which means that it's not needed to chase for his signature light cone, since he is already strong using his best for star F2P event light cone. If I have spare jades left, I prefer to chase for his best teammates like the Herta, Tribby, and Jade. But if you really love him and want the best form of him, it's better to chase for his signature light cone than his Eidolon. Anaxa's ultimate mainly used to disrupt enemies' combos, not delaying enemies' action. so it's best to use the ultimate in between enemy attack. All of his kit is really straightforward, just like his personality, easy to understand and easy to use. No need to think, just spam his skill while you can and ultimate in between. Implant as many weaknesses as possible to all enemies. Just with that, you're already considered as an Anaxa expert player. Damage-wise, I'm not sure he's as strong as the other Amphoreus character. But as a sub-DPS like Jade, his damage output can help the team achieve full star in every endgame content. My final thought, if you really like his character design, his voice actor, or his personalities, go for him. But if you're chasing for powerhouses like this Maiden of Death, I think it's fine if you want to save your jades for future characters. That's all for the Anaxa guide. I hope all of you Anaxa wanter becomes Anaxa ever.